Okay, and we're back, and as promised, John Joyner will be presenting on System Center Operations Manager 2016, followed by Brian Wren, who will be presenting on OMS at 3:30. Over to you, John. I'll stay on until we confirm your audio is good.
Okay, thank you, Randy, and welcome back, everybody.
Excellent.
Okay, well, we are beginning a 45-minute broad-reaching overview with also some deep dives into System Center Operations Manager 2016. So this is, of course, the System Center component for monitoring, and all of the System Center components received a new release wave with Windows Server 2016. So for all the System Center 2012 R2 components, there is a corresponding upgraded System Center 2016 component, and Operations Manager included. A very quick introduction for myself and my company. I work for Clearpointe, which is a Microsoft partner. We are a managed IT services provider using System Center tools. So we use virtually all the components of the System Center suite: Operations Manager, Systems Management Automation, Config Manager, DPM. We use all of these tools to deliver managed services. And it's a unique feature of our service is that since we are using the Microsoft tools, many companies and enterprises are essentially already licensed for the cost of the tool. So there's a lot of efficiencies, and it's been a very successful business model for us. We're currently focusing on Microsoft Private Cloud Management, and we are the selected management provider for Lenovo's Azure Stack in the RAID Inc. storage configuration of a hyper-converged node. So looking forward to continuing to increase our usefulness to the community, and now partnering with a leading provider of Microsoft's new Azure Stack solution. On the right, on this slide, you can see the cover of one of the books that I have co-authored. I've co-authored basically all four of the Unleashed series books on Operations Manager, going back to MOM 2005. And I'm happy to be able to share with this audience my observations as a long-time Operations Manager professional about what's new and what's relevant with Scom 2016. So I've promised very few slides. In fact, I only have like 3 content slides that we're going to look at quickly, which will cover what I'm going to demo and the few relevant things that I won't be demoing. After we cover these few slides, I will be jumping into a couple of demo environments for the rest of our 45 minutes. So Scom 2016 is an evolutionary upgrade. Fortunately, very few or no changes that affected backward compatibility have occurred. While some of the features that I'm describing, none of them are earth-shaking, all of them matter. They all materially and substantially make the product better without being disruptive. And that's a big plus for us. I can tell you that at Clearpointe, we are moving fairly quickly to upgrading from Scom 2012 R2 to Scom 2016 to support our operations. And we, at least on the Scom side, are having, knock on wood, very few to no issues. Where we are finding difficulty, some difficulty specifically, is integration with Service Manager. So those of you doing Scom to Service Manager integrations, I cannot tell you that we've had a flawless 2016 migration story, but neither is it non-functional. It's not as, I can just say firsthand that the Scom 2012 R2 to Scom 2016 upgrade itself is very low risk, and unless you are in an integrated Service Manager 2016 environment, I know no indications not to proceed with the Scom 2016 upgrade as soon as you verify that your license status entitles you to that upgrade. On these, I've got 2 slides titled New Features, 1 and 2, and between the 2 slides there's about 10 or so bullets. Each is an upgraded feature or new feature to Scom 2016. And the ones that are in green font color are the ones that I will be intending to show in the demo period. The first bullet on the screen is the improved desktop console performance, which I can't really demo to you, but feedback from my MVP colleagues is that this is a real noticeable feature in large-scale plants. I can actually say that at Clearpointe, the way that we use System Center in a distributed multi-tenant fashion is that we don't heavily load our management groups. What we do is just spin up more management groups, so we have clusters or constellations of small to medium-sized management groups rather than heavily loading any one management group. So again, I'm not going to, I'll be clear when I'm relaying stuff that's first person, that I've witnessed myself, and others that I've just heard reported from others. And so I've heard reported from others that are running Scom 2016, very large environments, 1,000 plus managed computers, that the Scom console has a 100% or more apparent increase in usability and speed. Clicking on objects and state views is even quicker than before. So that's good news that Microsoft paid attention to an area that's a common area of issue with Scom customers. They say the console can get a little slow. So Microsoft has listened to that and made a number of improvements under the covers to make that experience better. The second bullet that we will take a quick look at is we can now integrate email notifications from our Scom server with external SMTP servers that require authentication. This eliminates the need to install the SMTP service, the Windows Server SMTP service on the Scom server or in the environment of the Scom server to provide a relay to SMTP hosts that require authentication. So you can now you have more flexibility to configure your email notifications and less requirement, in fact no requirement, to deploy local SMTP servers for that intermediate step. The third bullet is in blue. I won't be demoing that. Another common feedback from Scom customers is the lack of, people don't like having to install Silverlight to run the Scom web console. And so Microsoft has addressed that, and in the Scom 2016 web console, you do not require Silverlight to log into the web console and use most of its features. Those of you familiar with the previous console experience, that if you could not load Silverlight, most of the console was non-functional. And this is improved so that all of the views are functional except the dashboards. To render the dashboards in the web console, you still need Silverlight, but if your web console monitoring requirements, for example, to just watch alerts or just watch state views, you will not need the Silverlight download for that. The next bullet is the ability to schedule maintenance mode from the monitoring pane, and this addresses a customer input that scheduled maintenance mode, in other words, for example, particularly cloud servers that are shut down at each night or each weekend for predictable hours to save money or to save on utility bills, that the ability for Operations Manager to put those machines into maintenance mode for those predicted outages and thereby prevent unnecessary heartbeat alerts had been a little more sophisticated task that required Scom administrator level role-based access, and now this ability to schedule maintenance mode is available to operators within the console. I'll demo that. The next bullet, the second to last on this page, is one of my favorites, and this involves improvements to how management pack updates are detected, how missing and applicable management packs are surfaced for the first time in Operations Manager to let you know that you're not getting as much out of Scom as you could. And this is a very useful feature I'll be demonstrating. The next bullet is also extremely useful. This is a new feature in Operations Manager, and this is tools to help you triage alerts and groom alerts and reduce the noise in your system. I'll be showing that off. And this is the second page of new features. The Extensible network monitoring refers to an ability to create a custom network device definition that will provide you the ability to get advanced performance information out of network devices that are not out of the box supported by operations managers. So some of you may know that Scom does a great job of supporting and monitoring network devices like routers and switches through SNMP. Some devices that Microsoft has prepared additional definitions for provide additional metrics and performance data in the Scom console. For example, routers that have a installed processor unit provide a CPU utilization, so you can see how busy your network devices are. And that ability to query the device for the more advanced parameters, such as CPU utilization of the device, those require that the device is defined within Operations Manager, and there's a new tool for Microsoft to let you define your own devices that may not be supported out of the box. Nano Server, of course, is the new Windows Server 2016 super stripped down, smaller than core server product. Jeffrey Snover, the lead architect of Windows, this is one of his favorite features of Microsoft's new server platform. And I won't be demoing it, but know that if you are planning using Nano Server, which has particular challenges for management, fully supported, there's an excellent management story in Operations Manager for Nano Server. The third bullet is on Linux monitoring. There was a known limitation, a scaling limitation on Operations Manager management servers and gateways monitoring Linux and Unix computers, and this is because the Linux and Unix computer monitoring is an active outbound task by the management server or the gateway, as opposed to an inbound passive task for Windows agents. And so there was increasing load placed on the management server for each additional Linux server monitored, and Microsoft has made available through a registry change an ability to modify the configuration of a management server to allow it to monitor approximately twice as many Linux nodes as before reaching the maximum performance of that management server and requiring that you deploy another. The fourth bullet, the first green one on this page, is the ability to extend Operations Manager with OMS with very high value, and I will be showing a peek at that, not to steal any thunder from Brian Wren coming up after me. The next to last bullet is a new feature in the administration pane that it's a fairly simple feature, but it's novel in that it provides Microsoft partners with an ability to surface their offerings directly in the console to Scom customers. We'll be taking a peek at that. And the final new feature that I'm calling attention to, and we'll also take a look at this, is the ease with which Unix and Linux monitoring integrates into the console. And there are new features to use the authoring console in Operations Manager to author monitors and tasks for Unix Linux computers, as well as new management packs to monitor Linux apps such as MySQL and Apache HTTP web server. We'll be taking a look at those. We'll begin our demonstration with taking a look at 3 management packs in action that are new for Windows Server 16 technologies. So this is a message I want to get out to Scom customers that Microsoft, despite having tremendous potential with the OMS offering, is not neglecting Operations Manager in any sense, not walking away from it, or in fact continued new investment, if anything, even more timely and better than before. For example, Scom 2012 R2 did not provide management packs at release time for all of the features of Windows Server 2012 R2. There were some months where those management packs took to roll out. And Microsoft, in my opinion, has done a better job, an admirable job, of releasing high-value management packs for the new Windows Server 2016 technologies at release date for Windows Server 2016. And these are the 3, the Shielded VMs and Guarded Fabric, the Storage Spaces Direct, and the Windows Defender are new technologies in Windows Server 2016 that there are new Scom 2016 management packs for. So I'm now going to, we're basically done with the PowerPoint for the rest of of our talk, which is 30 minutes, and I'm going to go now into two demo environments that we'll be switching between to show off these new features. And I'll cover all the features that are visible in the two environments one at a time to avoid having to switch back and forth between the environments, which can take up time. Right now we have switched to a System Center Operations Manager 2016 console that is monitoring one of the new Windows Server features, one of the ones I'm most excited about, which is the shielded VMs and the guarded hosts, otherwise known as guarded fabric. And what we're looking at right now, this exact view, is the SCVMM management pack monitoring a private cloud, a cluster of Hyper-V servers, Windows Server 2016 clusters that are capable of hosting shielded VMs. So this view right here shows the clouds that are managed by SCVMM, and we have defined two clouds, one of which can host shielded VMs and one which cannot. And you can commingle the ability to manage shielded VMs and non-shielded VMs within Hyper-V clusters. It's up to you how to define those clouds. Now I'm going to switch to the state view in the new Windows Server Guarded Fabric Management Pack. So Guarded Fabric includes two concepts, which are the shielded VMs, the protection to guard from host access to the VMs, and a guardian host, which is a service, basically a fail-safe service that the hosts have to check in with to make sure that they are still authorized to decrypt and run the shielded VMs. And I won't spend much more time here other than to let you know this is valid, it works, it's simple, elegant, effective, and if you are considering deploying the guarded fabric solution in your environment, if you're a high security environment like a bank or the payment card industry, and you're looking at shielded VMs and guarded fabric as a valid solution for you, you can know that Microsoft is enabling you to manage it effectively with Operations Manager. The second and final thing, a couple more things I might show you in this environment before we switch to the other. The Oms Connection, I'm going to show you this environment that you're looking at right now, the one with the shielded VMs. This environment is managed, also is connected to OMS. And pushing going to the operations pane in Windows Server 20, or rather in Operations Manager 2016, and selecting to reconfigure the OMS connection. This is just going to validate the settings that I already have. Basically, this dialog will enable you to enter your credentials and select the OMS workspace that you've defined. So you essentially go to the OMS portal, create a workspace, and then you will have the ability to, by configuring your Operations Manager suite connection here, you'll be able to select that workspace. You'll see the name there just as I did. And then once you've connected to a workspace, it will be blank. There'll be no managed computers in it yet. You then select which, if any, or all of the computers in your Scom management group that you want managed by OMS as well. So there's a add computer task here, and by pushing the search button on the default object of Windows Computer, it's going to list all the Windows computers in your management group. And if you want to manage every single one of them, co-manage all of them with OMS as well, you just select all of them, push the Add button and the OK button, and it's done. And in fact, in this small management group of 12 computers, we're managing all 12 with OMS as well. So to achieve all of the benefits of OMS that I'll just briefly show, and Brian Wren has a whole session on after me, it's just two simple steps. No matter how, I could have 100 computers here, and in just literally minutes, I could have them all managed. In a single task, I can get it done. So that's very elegant and very easy. And when we talk, Brian Wren will hopefully bring up the licensing options for OMS. And basically the best way to buy System Center is by buying OMS, which includes System Center. So it's really the way ahead. It's a no-brainer. And I just wanted to show from this view how easy it is. In this management group, I'm going to quickly show two different views of this updates and recommendations feature, because this is again one of the things I'm most excited about. And since we have two environments to show, I'm just going to show this view off in both of the environments. An issue that happens with Operations Manager is that if you don't have the management packs installed for the technologies that you depend on, you're blind to them, and you may not be aware. You may assume that the management pack is installed in your management group for the key technology, but unless you know or go check in the previous versions of Operations Manager, you could have this sort of blind spot. So Microsoft has addressed that in Scom 2016 by integrating some new features in your Scom instance with the cloud service that identifies the technologies that have been discovered in your environment for which you have no management pack installed yet, and or which you have a management pack partially installed, or that there are updates available. So here, and you can see in this list that there are quite a lot of technologies that have been discovered in my management group, but I do not yet have the management pack. For example, network load balancing or remote access service. And I'm not installing them on purpose because this is a demo management group. But you can see this is very convenient and very powerful, that in one spot you can see what do I need to update, what do I need to complete the installation of, and which technology should I consider for adding to my management stack. And each one of these is just over here, if we look at the Get Management Pack button, here I had the lightweight directory services selected. I push the Get Management Pack button, and immediately this dialog box has appeared ready to download and install those management packs to my management group. So a couple of clicks, just literally a few seconds, and we've identified a blind spot and added appropriate monitoring effectively. So those are the couple things I wanted to show in this management group, and now we'll go and take a look at a different management group that has our other technologies in it. In this management group, we have a Storage Spaces Direct installation, and we're also monitoring a Linux computer. And this is going to let me demonstrate some more of the features that I wanted to show you. I mentioned that one new Windows Server technology that's monitored by Scom is the shielded VMs and guarded fabric. We took a look at that. Another is the Storage Spaces Direct, which we're going to take a look at, drill down into in this management group. And the third one that I had the bullet on was Windows Defender. So I wanted to quickly show that. Some of you may know that Microsoft's antivirus, anti-malware solution, endpoint protection, System Center endpoint protection, does not install on Windows 10 or Windows Server 2016. It's not supported. The Microsoft provided anti-malware engine for Windows Server 2016 is Windows Defender. It's built into the OS, and in our experience at Clearpointe, it's highly effective. Again, knocking on wood, we've had excellent experience using the Microsoft-provided anti-malware utilities, both endpoint protection and Windows Defender. And Microsoft has released, again, good job, a very useful, elegant management pack for Windows Defender to install in your Windows Server 2016, or your Scom 2016 management groups to manage the Defender on your Windows 2016 servers. There is no default view folder created, rather just alerts and health models are extended with the anti-malware status. Here in the discovered inventory view, I selected protected endpoint class, and I'm getting a look at the 4 computers in this group, and I can see, for example, which are up, which version of signatures they have, whether they're current or old. Have they done a full scan? How long has it been since they did a quick scan? And of course, indications of virus protection will surface as alerts. So those of you contemplating an anti-malware solution for your Windows Server 2016 computers, if you should go with the default option, which I can recommend, you can also rest assured that deploying System Center with this management pack will surface all the relevant information that you need to feel protected. So those are the three new technologies, or actually two of the three. Let's take a look at the third one, the Storage Spaces Direct. So Storage Spaces Direct, a revolutionary new approach for Microsoft to take on Hyper-V clusters, enabling a hyper-converged scenario or a SAN replacement scenario using the far lower cost storage available. And again, you might say, this is a big step for me. I'm going to not use my SAN anymore. I'm going to cut ties with my SAN vendor. Am I going to have awareness and visibility into my new storage solution? And if Microsoft had not released this management pack, I would maybe not be able to recommend in full, without some reservations, that a large enterprise would bet its business on the technology. You would not run an enterprise SAN without monitoring generally, and this is a SAN replacement, and so Microsoft has provided a very credible monitoring solution out of the gate. So here's an example of the dashboard view that shows the storage spaces volumes that have been selected, or rather that have been detected, and this is a demo environment, so there's actually there's not activity happening. So these, I've actually rather than just stage dummy data, which I've done for other shows, I didn't take the trouble this time. But believe me, in a real scenario, these charts will be populated with probably the single most valuable indicator of the performance of a Hyper-V plant, and that's the requested IOPS versus the available IOPS, to make sure that there are no storage delays reading or writing on it for any of the virtual hard disks. And I applaud Microsoft for making IOPS the focus of the health of the storage volumes, because that is in fact the single most, in our experience, the single most telling metric on whether you're meeting your storage requirements or not. So I'm very pleased that Microsoft has not only released the Storage Spaces Direct management pack at the same time as Windows Server 2016, but they've also showcased their best dashboard technology. You can certainly see, here's a nice example of the advanced dashboard, or the advanced dashboard technology when we look at the SQL Server 2016 view. And you can see here, this is the same dashboard chart technology that's in the Storage Spaces management pack here on the Windows, or on the SQL Server 2016 management pack, and you can see very clear, very easy to consume dashboard indicators. So there we go. I've covered, shown you that these three new technologies: Storage Spaces, Windows Defender, shielded VMs that are out of the gate, highly supported and highly effective monitoring is being delivered by Microsoft. Going back to the administration space, I said I'd demonstrate a few of these other features. I'll start out with this fairly simple one. The notification channels. I'm going to show you that if we were to create a new SMTP email channel, and we go to add our provider, we have a new authentication type, which is external email authentication, and where I could then select a run as profile with the credentials of my external SMTP email service. A small feature, but it actually saves a lot of overhead in not having to have your local, having to configure an SMTP server that did not require authentication, which could then relay to the real outbound SMTP server that would allow authentication. So That's one small new but very welcome feature. Also here in the administration space, I want to show you the alert management. Here's that same list of updates and recommendations that we saw in the other management group. Here in this management group, you can see it's a different list because we have different technologies monitored. Notice in this case there's only one management pack that's not installed for DTC 2016. I'm going to go ahead and install it so you can see how easy it is. I push the Get Management Pack button and the Install button, and that's it. And so, in a few minutes we would see a DTC coordinator intelligence added to the Scom console, and this would go away in the list of recommended management packs to add to your management group. And hoping this doesn't take too long because I think my console won't return function until this is done downloading. While we're waiting for that, I'll introduce the second thing that I'll show you. In fact, let's not wait. I have two environments. Let's go to the other one. Because the next thing I want to show you is this other new feature, which is the Tune Management Packs feature. So a user feedback from Operations Manager community is that there can be too much going on in the console. It can be noisy. It can be hard to identify how to enable grooming and thresholds and overrides. So Microsoft has added the new Tune Management Packs feature. This lists the total number of alerts sorted by management pack. I can change the window of which these alerts are considered, which by default is a sum of all the alerts in the last 3 months. If I pick one of these, I can then choose the Tune Alerts function, and we get another new dialog appear, which has all of the alerts for that management pack sorted by account. In this case, there are only two individual alerts that constituted the 386 alerts that have come from this management pack. And 386 right away just becomes 2. That's better. And then I can evaluate these two conditions, and I can determine, is this actionable? Should I override it? Should I modify a threshold? And by going through each of these technologies and performing that simple analysis where you're aided with the sorting and the filtering, and this is to help guide you to tune the thresholds and overrides of your Scom installation to reduce the noise. So I think those are very nice features. Let's go back to our other environment. Yeah, the DTC failed to load. So we'll see now it shows partially installed. At least that's accurate. Why did that second management pack not install? We could figure it out, but we won't take the time now. Let's go to the monitoring space here in this management group, and I'll show you the ability to interactively, dynamically schedule maintenance mode. So this is a new feature. In the top of the monitoring space, in the global views area, we have a maintenance schedules view. You can see I've got one maintenance schedule already defined, which is going to take our Linux servers from 1 a.m. to 6 a.m. and put them in maintenance modes. For example, they're shut down each night from that time. To make a new one, it's extremely simple. We push Create the Maintenance Schedule button. We can add or remove objects. By default, it's going to surface computers here, but you can also granularly put in subcomponents or child objects of computers or applications if they're the only portions that you want to have not monitored for scheduled periods. I'll just randomly pick a computer to go to the next dialog box. And here's the schedule. You can daily, weekly, monthly for a certain number of minutes or at a specific end time, and when the schedule should start and complete. So the ability to make these scheduled overrides is now extended to your operators in the operating space, and that is going to make every organization work more efficiently by not requiring a lot of routing and approval and higher end or higher skilled or less available personnel to implement the maintenance schedules. One other quick thing I said I would point out is the partner solutions. So this is another new view in Operations Manager 2016. It was actually introduced in one of the last cumulative updates for 2012 R2, but not too many people are aware of it. And through Microsoft partners, and I think I'm proud to show that my own company is in this space as a provider of VM management services. And you can see Infront, Veeam, OpsLogix, NICE, Silect, Greetings sponsor, Comtrade. These partners have taken the initiative to go to Microsoft through their partner organization and say, can we appear in the partner solution space? And I can tell you, as a company that's in it, it was not difficult for us to apply and gain access. And so those of you producing management pack solutions, here's a great place, a great resource for you to get the word out about your management pack. And this is a read-only web view that comes over. It's a read-only view that comes from a web service. And really, maybe the last thing I'll show before we provide a little time for questioning is on the Linux monitoring. This is Microsoft reports that a significant number of new IaaS VMs being spun up in Azure for production use by customers are Linux. I want to say the number is 30%. It could be a little less or a little higher, but it's not trivial. It's a significant percentage. And Microsoft is showing continuing investment in Operations Manager by making the Linux management even easier. For example, I mentioned that there are scale improvements that allow you to manage more Linux servers with fewer Scom servers. I wanted to just quickly show. So here's basically, we're only monitoring one Linux server. So here's the state view, and you can see he's reporting a problem. I believe he has low memory periodically. But something that that I find really powerful here, when we look at the operating system performance view, that all of these counters, for example, percent idle time, because we can demonstrate that this server, and this is actually a production server for a small business e-commerce site in Azure. It's just not taxed very much with its job, and we can see that this particular Linux server rather, is idle. Has an idle CPU most of the time. But these counters should be very familiar to all of you, even those of you without Linux in operation. How much memory is available, what the processor utilization is, how quickly the storage system and the memory system are responding to demands, are there queues. All this information applies to both Windows servers and Linux servers. And Operations Manager really fulfills its single pane of glass destiny, or as another version of that statement that I like to use is single source of truth, is that Operations Manager can roll up and display together in a homogeneous way similar counters such as performance, processor performance on Windows computers and Linux computers together. And so you get a consistent view of the consistent fabric components, regardless of whether the OS is Windows or Linux or Unix. And at Clearpointe, as a managed services provider, we're able to really confidently and easily extend our offerings to Linux servers, especially customers that may have just Windows experience. They're adding Linux servers. They want to know, am I going to lose fidelity of my monitoring? And we can tell them confidently, no, not at all. You're going to continue to get high fidelity, superior, equal or even superior monitoring of your Linux resources. This particular Linux server has got a LAMP stack on it, and this is a brand new management pack, and so I haven't gotten a chance to configure all of the features, but I'll show you, for example, the fact that Apache has been discovered on the Linux server is there, and if I were to want deeper monitoring, there is a task called load monitoring module, I can fill in these overrides and apply it, and that will specifically enable this. It actually does quite a lot for you. It will go into the Apache configuration, enable the monitoring by libraries, restart the Apache service, and begin monitoring. All of that is activated by an inline task. So customers deploying line of business solutions on the LAMP stack can look to Operations Manager as their monitoring platform without reservation. I think that's a great story. The last thing I'll show, I have just very quickly 3 web pages. The management packs for the MySQL and the Apache have to be downloaded expressly. They will not be detected automatically. Likewise, I mentioned one of the new features of Operations Manager is the ability to create the higher fidelity device definitions for your network devices, and the tool to do that also has to be downloaded separately from Microsoft. Here's the page for that. And then I'll close with this quick peek at OMS, which is your next topic. And I just wanted to show how OMS adds a superset of function that make it pretty much a no-brainer. Here's an application dependency monitor, which is looking at that shielded VM and guarded fabric environment that I showed you. Application dependency monitor is an Azure service that looks down and attaches at your applications and determines the sources and destinations of traffic and activity between machines. So here we can see the host guardian service virtual machine in the lab that we just looked at, and for example, here is the other host guardian service machine, and you can see this detailed list of services, and you can see specifically, which ones are active between the host guardian service cluster members. And so, even though this is an out-of-the-box Microsoft solution, imagine that this is your custom line of business solution, and you can get this kind of insight at the process level. And this can be invaluable for detecting bottlenecks and for optimizing and extending your line of business applications. It was extremely easy to add this feature and start getting that intelligence. And the very last thing I'll show, another thing that I think is useful, is the anti-malware piece here. So I showed you that Microsoft has a management pack for Windows Defender that's quite effective. But there's also, for example, the malicious software removal tool that comes monthly in the Microsoft Update. And that provides a fairly decent protection against well-known threats. So we can't consider a machine fully unprotected if it has passed a recent software removal tool run. So OMS is aware, as you can see on the right-hand side of this OMS dashboard, the Defender is present, but the software removal tool has also been run. So of our monitored machines, there's really only one machine that has no monitoring of any kind for malware, and that helps you prioritize where to provide remediation to at least make sure you have something watching all of your nodes. So that is my content. I've gone all the way to the end. We just have a few minutes for questions. I'm really sorry that I took the whole time, but I was able to cover all the material that I wanted to present, and I hope that everybody learned something new or found something interesting.
That was excellent, John. Thank you very much. And yes, we do have some questions for you. Quite a few, in fact. So let's see if we can go through those. Any that you think were answered during the demo, we could maybe
I see the question list. Okay, let's see. Almost. Oh, there we go. Okay. Starting at the bottom, is there a new authoring pane? Is there anything new in the authoring pane in the Ops Manager console? But one thing that I do know is new in that pane is creating Linux monitors. Okay. The changes to sudo, don't know. Scheduled maintenance mode, can it be performed from the Scom web console? That's a good question, Mark. I'm sorry, I don't know. I just do not know. That's a good question. Has the dashboarding been upgraded to allow users to easily create custom dashboards that are more vibrant? The type of graph that you saw is available to create. That engine that created the attractive SQL graphs, that you can add those type of displays to your new dashboards, if that answers your question. Can we hide some management packs that you never want to have installed? I don't believe you can, but since that's only available to view by by administrators, you would just have to trust your administrators to follow directions like don't apply any automatic updates as recommended, or avoid this one. I don't believe there's a way to hide any, but you don't have to worry about anyone but administrators launching those tasks. Can you do one-off scheduled maintenance modes? Absolutely. That's the whole point. If you noticed, one of the options was to do a one-time scheduled maintenance mode window. So that lets you, if someone says tonight, we're doing major maintenance, your afternoon staff can prepare those one-offs, which will then fire during the night, and just for that one night, if that's your scenario. I'm sorry, I just didn't demo the web console for time. Someone asked if we could see it anyway.
That's one of the tricks. There's always so much to show and so little time to get it all in, but it was an excellent presentation. And
thank you. I think I got most of the questions. So
yeah,
Brian?
We will actually make all the questions in your topic available to you, John, and we'll collect answers, and then once we compile all the answers, we'll send them out. So there's another opportunity there to provide some additional information.
I have put my email on the screen, and if you make it through my spam filter, I will give you the courtesy of a reply, even if the reply is I don't know or I don't have time. I'll answer all emails if anyone would like to contact me directly.
Excellent. Thank you very much once again, John. Really appreciate your participation, and on behalf of all the attendees, based on the number of questions that were coming in, it's an excellent topic, and the timing couldn't be better, so thank you.